Welcome to the show. Have you ever felt like you've been stuck in a cycle of being overlooked, undervalued, and pushed to the back of the line despite your constant faith and hard work? Today, that narrative changes completely. We are diving deep into a spiritual shift that is about to turn your private struggles into a public testimony of unexplainable favor. You've made it to the right place at the perfect time. Throughout this session, you are going to learn exactly how the universe aligns to honor those who have stayed true in the shadows. We're breaking down the mechanics of divine elevation and how God is preparing to embarrass your critics by showering you with blessings that defy human logic. Buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll have a completely different perspective on your current delays and the massive breakthrough that is standing right at your door. Let's get started. The moment has arrived where the veil of anonymity is being lifted from your life. For years, you have labored in the shadows, perfecting your craft and strengthening your spirit without the need for applause or recognition. This period of isolation wasn't a punishment. It was a divine preservation. Now, the transition from the hidden chambers to the public square is beginning, as the preparation you met in private meets the opportunity only heaven can provide. You are no longer being kept in reserve. You are being released into your purpose with a momentum that cannot be ignored. The transition from the backstage to the center stage often happens when you least expect it, but when you are most ready. You might have felt forgotten by the world, but your faithfulness in the small, unseen tasks has built a foundation that can support the weight of the massive influence coming your way. This shift is not about your own striving or networking. It is a sovereign move that pulls you from the periphery and places you exactly where you need to be seen. The quiet years are over, and the era of your visibility has officially begun. Stepping into the light requires a mindset shift from a servant in the shadows to a leader in the open. You have spent so much time being the observer that you might feel a sense of hesitation as the spotlight finds you. However, the grace that sustained you while you were hidden is the same grace that will empower you while you are known. The backstage served its purpose by removing your ego and refining your character, ensuring that when the world finally sees you, they see the most authentic and polished version of your soul. There is a specific type of authority that is only birthed in the secret place. While others were out seeking fame and chasing trends, you are building a reservoir of spiritual depth that the world is now starving for. This shift to the center stage is necessary because you carry a solution that can only be delivered from a platform of influence. You are being elevated not just for your own benefit, but to serve as a beacon for those who are still navigating their own seasons of hiddenness. As the curtain rises, you will find that the doors which were once bolted shut are now swinging open of their own accord. You won't have to announce yourself because your results and your presence will do the talking for you. This public emergence is the natural conclusion to your season of testing. The world is about to witness a suddenly moment where the person who was once ignored becomes the person everyone is talking about, proving that the timing of your debut was always in much higher hands than your own. When those who once mocked your vision are forced to witness your elevation, the atmosphere shifts from skepticism to pure amazement. There is a specific kind of justice in being honored in the presence of those who predicted your failure. It is not about seeking revenge, but about the undeniable reality of your growth serving as a living proof of divine intervention. Those who dismissed your potential will find themselves speechless as they try to reconcile the version of you they once knew with the powerhouse you have become. The shock on the faces of your detractors comes from the fact that your success cannot be explained by traditional means. They looked at your resources, your background, and your past mistakes and concluded that you had reached your limit. When you surpass those limits with ease, it creates a cognitive dissonance in them. They are forced to realize that there was a factor at work in your life that they failed to account for, a supernatural favor that operates outside the boundaries of human expectation and social status. Watching your transformation becomes a lesson for the onlookers who doubted the power of persistence and faith. Your life becomes a mirror that reflects their own limited thinking back at them. As you walk in your new reality, the mockery that once echoed in your ears is replaced by a hushed silence of respect. The very people who once had plenty to say about your delusions will now be the ones asking for your advice, struggling to understand how the underdog they overlooked became the leader they now follow. This public display of favor serves as a powerful validation of your journey. For every time you were laughed at or excluded, this season of amazement acts as a formal apology from the universe. You don't need to say, "I told you so," because your fruit speaks with a volume that words could never reach. The astonishment of the crowd is a testament to the fact that you didn't just survive the trial. You thrived because of it, turning the stones thrown at you into the foundation of your new monument. Ultimately, the amazement of others is a sign that your life has become a wonder. When people see you, they don't just see a person who worked hard. They see a walking miracle. Your story becomes a source of hope for the weary and a source of confusion for the arrogant. By standing tall in your blessing, you prove that no human opinion has the power to veto a divine mandate. The mockery of the past is completely swallowed up by the overwhelming brilliance of your current reality. The logic of heaven operates on a frequency that completely bypasses human calculation. While the world looks at your bank account, your credentials, or your social standing to determine your worth, divine favor uses a different metric entirely. This math ignores the standard rules of cause and effect, allowing you to achieve in a single day what takes others a lifetime of grinding. It is the spiritual acceleration that bridges the gap between where you are and where you are destined to be, making the impossible look effortless to everyone watching. You are entering a season where 1 + 1 no longer equals 2. It equals exponential multiplication. In the natural realm, you might be underqualified or lack the necessary connections, but in the realm of the spirit, your faithfulness has accrued a compound interest that is now being paid out. This unexplainable favor doesn't ask for permission from the gatekeepers of your industry. It creates a new path where there was a dead end, proving that when you are backed by a higher power, the earthly math of not enough is permanently cancelled. When the math of heaven takes over, your past deficits are turned into future assets. The years you thought you lost to struggle or delay are being added back to you with a bonus. This is the phenomenon of redeeming the time, where the speed of your progress makes the previous years of stagnation irrelevant. People will try to figure out your secret or your strategy, but they won't find it in a textbook because the formula is purely supernatural. You are moving into a realm of much more that exceeds your highest expectations. This unexplainable favor serves as a global reminder that the ultimate authority does not rest in the hands of men. By blessing you in a way that makes no sense, the narrative of working hard to get ahead is supplemented by the truth of walking in grace to be launched ahead. You are the living proof that when the Creator decides to promote someone, no amount of human logic, lack of resources, or systemic barriers can stop the momentum. The math is simple. When you are chosen, the odds are always in your favor. There is a profound healing that occurs when your public restoration finally outweighs your private pain. For every night you spent in tears, for every moment you felt abandoned, and for every hidden battle you fought alone, a public recompense is being prepared. This isn't just about getting a blessing, it's about a formal vindication that balances the scales of your life. The world saw the struggle, but now they are required to see the strength that emerged from it as your scars are transformed into stars of honor. The transition from secret agony to open celebration is a powerful tool for helping others. When God restores you publicly, He is using your life as a billboard of hope for those who are currently in their own private seasons of despair. Your visible favor serves as evidence that the story isn't over just because it's currently difficult. By being embarrassed with such obvious favor, you become a living testimony that what was meant to break you was actually used to build the platform you are now standing on. This restoration often comes in the form of double for your trouble, where the level of your blessing is directly proportional to the level of your previous testing. If the pain was deep, the favor will be wide. If the isolation was long, the influence will be vast. This is not a random act of kindness, but a calculated restoration of everything that was stolen from you, your joy, your time, and your reputation. You are being put back together in a way that makes you even better than you were before the trial began. As you step into this new reality, the memory of the private pain begins to fade in the brilliance of the public favor. You no longer look back at your struggles with resentment, but with gratitude, because you see how they prepared you for the weight of the glory you now carry. The public restoration is the final seal on that chapter of your life, announcing to you and to the world that you have officially crossed over. You have survived the night, and your morning has arrived with a brightness that everyone can see. Unexpected doors are beginning to swing open, triggered by connections you didn't have to hunt for or manipulate. In the story of your life, there are individuals strategically placed by destiny, your Boaz connections, who have the power and the position to change your trajectory in a single conversation. These people aren't just networking contacts, they are divine helpers who see your value when others overlook it. They are moved to extend kindness and opportunity to you, not because of what you can do for them, but because they recognize the spirit of excellence and humility you carry. The hallmark of these sudden doors is that they require no striving on your part. You might find yourself in a field you think is ordinary, just doing your daily work, only to realize that the owner of the field has been watching your consistency. This favor is about being at the right place, at the right time, with the right heart. When these doors open, they bypass the traditional gatekeepers and the long waiting lists. One moment you are gleaning in the corners, and the next you are invited to sit at the table of influence, proving that your preparation has finally met its perfect appointment. These connections often come from the most unlikely places, bridging the gap between your current reality and your ultimate calling. A Boaz connection is someone who provides protection, provision, and a platform because they are aligned with your purpose. They see past your current struggle and recognize your future potential. This is how the unexplainable part of your favor manifests. People in high places will find themselves compelled to help you, advocate for you, and open doors for you that you didn't even know existed, simply because the timing of your elevation has arrived. The speed at which your life changes through these doors will be breathtaking. You will look back and realize that years of labor couldn't have achieved what one divine connection accomplished in an afternoon. This is the power of favored access. It is the shortcut that God uses to bring his chosen ones to the forefront of their industries and communities. You are being introduced to people who have the keys to your next level. And the best part is that you don't have to sell yourself. The favor upon your life acts as your ultimate recommendation. Walking through these unexpected doors requires a spirit of readiness and a willingness to embrace the new. You have been in a season of less for so long that more might feel intimidating, but these doors are a sign that you have graduated. The connections appearing now are the physical manifestations of the spiritual shifts that have already taken place. You are no longer on the outside looking in. You are being ushered into rooms where decisions are made, legacies are built, and your influence can finally reach its full, destined capacity. Carrying a massive blessing comes with a weight that requires a sturdy internal structure. When you are the chosen one in a room full of critics, your favor becomes a target for those who do not understand the price you paid in secret. The burden of the blessing is the realization that your elevation will not always be cheered by your peers. You must develop a thick skin and a soft heart, understanding that the spotlight which honors you also exposes the insecurities of those around you. Your success is a mirror, and not everyone is ready to look at what it reflects. Handling this weight means staying grounded in the source of your favor rather than the favor itself. If you become addicted to the applause, you will be destroyed by the criticism. The burden requires you to be more disciplined, more focused, and more intentional than ever before. You are no longer just living for yourself. You are a steward of a divine testimony. This responsibility means that your character must be stronger than your charisma, ensuring that the platform you've been given doesn't collapse under the pressure of public scrutiny. In a room full of critics, your silence is often your greatest weapon. You do not owe an explanation for your blessing to those who didn't witness your struggle. The temptation to defend yourself or prove why you deserve the favor is part of the burden, but true chosen ones know that their results are their only defense. You must learn to walk with your head high even when the whispers are loud. The weight of the blessing is heavy, but it is also what anchors you, keeping you from being tossed around by the changing winds of public opinion. There is also the burden of expectation, the feeling that you must now maintain a certain level of perfection because you are the visible example of favor. You must reject this pressure and remain authentic to your journey. The favor wasn't given to you because you were perfect, but because you were chosen. Embracing the burden means accepting that you will be misunderstood, mischaracterized, and perhaps even alienated by those who feel you skipped the line. You must be okay with being the outlier if it means staying true to your calling. Ultimately, the burden of the blessing is a privilege. It is the weight of glory that confirms you are doing something significant enough to warrant opposition. If everyone liked what you were doing, you would likely be doing something ordinary. The fact that you are being publicly embarrassed with favor means your life is disrupting the status quo. Embrace the weight, stay humble under the blessing, and remember that the same power that gave you the favor is the power that will sustain you as you carry it before the world. The spiritual laws that govern the universe are designed to execute sudden reversals that defy human hierarchy. You are entering a season where the script of your life is being flipped by a sovereign hand, moving you from the tail to the head. This divine reversal is not a slow progression, but a categorical shift, where those who were once ignored are suddenly placed at the forefront of their fields. It is a cosmic balancing of the scales, ensuring that the humility you demonstrated while being last becomes the very qualification that makes you first in the eyes of heaven. The concept of the last becoming first is a disruption to those who rely solely on earthly status and seniority. While the world demands that you wait your turn and follow a linear path, divine favor introduces a vertical leap that bypasses the queue. This reversal is often jarring to observers because it ignores the traditional requirements for promotion. You are being propelled into leadership and influence because your internal alignment is finally ready to handle the external visibility. The hierarchy of man is being dismantled to make room for the appointment of the chosen. Experiencing a divine reversal means that the disadvantages of your past are being converted into the advantages of your future. The very areas where you were once behind are becoming the platforms from which you will lead. This is the power of the spiritual law that honors the broken and the contrite. It takes the stone that the builders rejected and makes it the cornerstone. You no longer have to worry about the time you think you lost, because a single divine reversal can compress decades of progress into a single moment of realization. This shift serves as a sign to everyone around you that there is a power higher than social or corporate structures. When the last becomes first, it challenges the arrogance of those who thought they were untouchable. Your elevation is a message that human effort has its limits, but divine grace has none. As you move into this new position, you carry a unique perspective because you know what it feels like to be at the bottom. This empathy becomes your greatest asset as a leader, allowing you to steward your newfound first status with a grace that others lack. Ultimately, the divine reversal is about restoring your true identity. You were never meant to stay in the back. You were simply being held there until the environment was ready for your specific light. Now that the reversal is in motion, you must accept your new rank without guilt or hesitation. The transition from the back to the front is a finished work, and as you step into your role as a first, you do so with the confidence that it was not your own striving that put you there, but a divine decree that could no longer be delayed. There is a powerful peace that comes when you no longer have to win arguments because you are winning in life. The noise of the critics is drowned out by the sound of doors opening and opportunities manifesting. You will find that people who once had a lot to say about your potential suddenly have nothing to say at all. This silence is not necessarily a sign that they have changed their hearts, but a sign that your reality has rendered their opinions irrelevant. Your favor has built a wall of protection around your reputation that no weapon of words can penetrate. As you walk in this public favor, you will notice a shift in the social atmosphere around you. The skeptics who once tried to block your path will find themselves standing on the sidelines, unable to find a single valid point of contention. The sheer magnitude of what is happening in your life creates a shield of divine embarrassment for them. They are embarrassed by how wrong they were about you. You don't need to gloat or point out their errors. The fact that you are thriving while they are watching is a complete and final closing of the case. The silence of your enemies is a gift that allows you to focus entirely on your purpose without the distraction of petty battles. You have outgrown the level where their comments could hurt you, and you have entered a realm where their opposition actually fuels your narrative of victory. Every silent observer is a witness to the fact that no human can stop what has been divinely authored. Your life is becoming a masterclass in quiet triumph, proving that the best way to handle a critic is to succeed so greatly that they have no choice but to stay quiet. This era of silence marks the end of a long period of justification. You are finally free from the need to be understood by everyone. The unexplainable favor you are receiving is your mic drop moment. As you continue to ascend, the voices of the past fade into the distance, replaced by the quiet respect of those who recognize that you are truly chosen. Rest in the quietness of your victory, knowing that your favor is a loud testimony that speaks for itself, leaving your enemies with nothing left to say. As you step away from this moment, remember that the silence of your preparation was never a sign of abandonment, but a cocoon for the unexplainable favor now coming your way. You are transitioning from being hidden to being highly honored, and the grace on your life will soon speak louder than any critic ever could. Take a moment to reflect. Which area of your life is currently being prepared for a divine reversal that defies all human logic? To stand in agreement with this shift and help this message reach others who need this hope, please type the word favor in the comments below. For those who wish to go deeper into these spiritual principles and enjoy early access to our sessions, our membership community is always open to you. Trust the process, embrace your elevation, and walk boldly into the light of your new season.